Okay, in this problem, our first step is to write the equation for a sine function. We know the amplitude is going to be 2 and the period is pi over 2. So the first thing we're going to want to do is calculate our b value, because we know to find b, it's going to be 2 pi divided by the period. So in this case, it's going to be 2 pi divided by pi over 2. And we can think of that as the same thing as 2 pi multiplied by 2 over pi. So what would happen there is that our pi's would cancel out, and really it's just equal to 4. Okay, so now we can write out our equation. It's going to be y is equal to 2 sine of 4x. And yeah, that would be it, because we don't have a horizontal shift or a vertical shift. All right, our next step is to graph this equation. We would want to start by creating our x and y axis. And as for labeling my x and y axis, you'll notice that for my y axis, I only went down to -2 and +2. And I know that's all I'm going to need to do because our amplitude is 2, so it's going to go from 0 up to 2 and down to -2. No reason to go any further up or down than that. And then along our x-axis, I know that we wanted the interval from 0 to 2 pi. So I kind of just spaced it out so that 4 ticks would represent pi over 2 and 8 ticks would represent pi. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is identify my maximum and minimums. Because we know the period is pi over 2, visually think of that as meaning it's going to take a distance of pi over 2 for it to repeat itself. So I know, first of all, because it's a sine function, it's going to start by moving upwards, and then it's going to reach its maximum, curve down, reach its minimum, and then get back up to where it started at pi over 2. That way we know we have the correct period of pi over 2. In fact, we can identify our x-intercepts all the way across there. So in order for this to work out, we would need our maximum to be here, and then it's going to curve back down to here, reach our minimum here, and then make its way back up. So it's going to look a little bit like this. There. So now we have our amplitude of 2 and our period of pi over 2. All right, so eventually when you finish sketching the rest of it out, it's going to look something like that. All right, that's all for this video, and thanks for visiting JD's Preparation.